Welcome back, everyone. Today I'm going to be doing my first impressions of Among Cultists. So what is Among Cultists? Well, this is a 4 to 8 player social deduction game by Godot Games. First and foremost, I want to thank Godot Games for sending me the Kickstarter pledge for review purposes. Now, Among Cultists is a game based off a online game that was on, I believe it was on cell phone, or you could get it on iPhone, whatever. But it was about a bunch of people running a spaceship or station or something, but one or two people were in traders or something. Again, I only played it once or twice. I didn't really delve too much into it, but this board game is based off that game. So I'm gonna just go over what's going on in the game and then what I thought about from that first play. Now, we only played the base version, so there's different roles in this game, a little more rules. I have 2 more maps that could be added. I believe they changed the rules up a bit. So there's a lot of content that was on the Kickstarter pledge. Now, in this game, depending on your player count, the minimum is 4. So I believe anywhere from between 4 and 6, there's 1 cultist, and 7 and 8, there are 2 cultists. We played just the base game with no. There were like no, like certain rooms or like I forgot what it was called. But there was like a room that every time you check the room out, there something would activate. But we just did the basic rules just to get some sense of how this game plays. So I play a 6-player game with 1 cultist. I didn't play as a cultist. I play as an investigator. So you're running around this university, and you're trying to collect these books that are in different rooms. And getting those books will get you victory points. So there's a certain victory point marker for different player counts. So for us, it was 12. And the goal of the cultist is to kill 4 of us, or have us fail by the 10th round. So your character is represented by these markers. They have 2 sides, a live side and a dead side. So at the beginning of the game, there is a chance that your character can be dead and you do not know it. Now, when you go into the rooms, there's a certain amount of things that you can do. Like each room is gonna have a card that's placed there, so it could be a success, a failure, or a sabotage card. When you go into that room, one of the actions you can do is place a card down. So it's similar to other big box social deduction games, such as The Thing. Now, obviously, the cultist wants you to fail. There's a failure card and the sabotage card. Now, there's certain things that bring out like other cultists that you can fight. They're NPCs, and there's another one called the Fishman. We didn't play with the Fishman. We did have they play with the cultist and the portal. A portal, which is bad. The portal comes out from the event bag, because every round there's going to be an event that happens. So, again, one of the things that you can do is play the card down, and also another thing you can do is search. Now, you can't search until there's 3 cards in the room. Once that happens, you flip the token over to show that the room has been searched, and sometimes that can lead to an event. Again, we didn't play with that because the rulebook recommended not just to play basically without that room. All you can do is obviously check the vital signs of a certain investigator that you're in the room with, so you pretty much go through their cards, and you have these. They're called like their health cards. You either have a green line or a red flat line, which means that they're dead. If there's one flat line in their deck of life cards, that investigator is dead, and they're gonna switch to the ghost. Now, when you're a ghost, you can still I believe you can still vote. You can still play cards in the room, but you could also I don't believe you can check to see if a character is alive or not. But another plus about being a ghost is that you can transport to different rooms instead of having to move certain amount through a certain amount of rooms. So yeah, that's another thing. You have 3 movement points, so you can move up to 3. There are events that decrease your movement points and increase your movement points, so to make it go up to 4. There's like a camera room that you can spy on other investigators or cultists on, and there was a bunch of things. So let's like I said, so the investigators want to get to a certain amount of victory points, and the cultists want to kill 4. So how does the cultist do that? Now, when you go into a room with another investigator, you have to have an encounter. So what that means is you're going to go through your cards that you have. You have a bunch of life cards. Now, as an investigator, you have all green cards. The cultists have a few red cards, which they would hand. So you would secretly put one down on the other players on their deck, and they cannot look at it. And the same goes for you. Now, the cultists, they're gonna put a red card down if they want to, take you out. But when you're by yourself, you don't want to, give yourself away too quick. You want to play along a bit. I've noticed that on a 6-player game as one cultist. Playing as a sole cultist is a little difficult because now you have this card. It's called a route card. Each player has a route card. And what that means is you have to follow the route on this card. So it'll show a round number, and then it's going to show a room symbol. So that means that you can only take actions in that room during this round. The cultist does not have to follow that. So, but again, nobody knows your route cards. But they're going to catch on when they start seeing you going into, the same rooms with other investigators. Now, that's how we caught on. I saw that one person was going into a room with several other investigators. So I was like, all right, I'm going to check their pulse. And so they were killed. So, yeah, you're following along on that route card, and the cultists, you want to try to hand those out as quick as you can, because if there are 4 investigators dead by that time, then you win the game. Especially if by the end of the round, if you have given out 4, red cards, you win the game. You can announce at the end of that round that I have won the game. That 4 investigators are dead. So that's just brief, a quick rehash of because again, we play with the base game. With the other games, the investigators have different roles. Like there's an assassin role that if you feel that somebody is a cultist, you have an encounter with that person, you can assassinate them. I didn't go through over all the different roles because there's a lot. But yeah, so let's go into what I think about it after one play. I'll say this right now: this rulebook is not good. First of all, the game has a pretty steep setup. It's a pain in the butt because you gotta lay out all the different cards. The setup alone takes about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on the player count. I mean, I'm sure it gets better the more you play. But yeah, the rulebook, I had to go over it a few times. There's some really good videos out there that explain the game pretty well. Again, it's similar to the thing. I'm not ready to do my review on the thing yet, but the thing has a horrible rulebook, a really bad rulebook. But the game, again, it's so simple. For a game that's very simple, it has a bad rulebook, and I felt the same with this one as of right now. But also, there's another thing. This game desperately needs player aids, because there's a lot of symbologies. There's a lot, again, especially on the event tokens that you can pull out, and of course the roles. They all have these weird symbols on it. It's very hard to memorize all of them. Again, everything's in the rulebook, but I really would appreciate if there was player aids. I'm sure they'll be on Board Game Geek pretty soon. So that's right now what I did not like. Again, bad rulebook, desperate need of player aids, a lot of symbologies and symbols. The iconography is all over the place. But I will say this: after one play, there is a really good game here, because we had a lot of fun. I asked everyone, we played with 6. I asked everyone if they had fun playing this game, and they all said they would play this again. And that was just the base game without the the roles. I'm sure the roles and the future games, again, adding that room. I keep forgetting what the name of that room was, but that will make this game a lot better. So far, this game has a lot of promise as a social deduction game. And if you ask me, really, I'm not really into social deduction anymore. But yeah, a few years ago, even before I was in this hobby, they were fun, but they get old really quick. These new big box social deduction games that are coming out, like The Thing, Feed the Kraken, and now you have Among Cultists are a lot of fun. So yeah, right now a lot of promise with this game, and I haven't even tried the other two maps yet, and they also add a little bit more rules to it too. Again, the only bad thing is the rule book and the iconography of the game. It's all over the place. Setup is a pain in the butt, but gameplay, this is so far. This I believe this can be one of the best social deduction games out there, and it doesn't play long. You could play in about 45 minutes. It says 45 minutes to 90. We played about maybe an hour or less, give or take. It did not take long. Again, it could end pretty quick, depending on how good of a cultist player you're at. And I really want to. I'm looking forward to getting this back to the table and playing with 7 or 8 because I really want to get that second cultist in there. That I think that will add more tense to the game and make obviously make it a little more difficult because now you got 2 cultists out there. You don't know who is who. But when there's one cultist, they got to be a little bit more strategic because again, people are gonna catch on pretty quick that you're seeing that you're encountering a lot of people, but at the same time you have to place those failure cards down, and the sabotage card removes a book from the library that you collect, so you lose victory points. Not lose victory. I'm sorry, but it prevents you from getting closer to again that victory points. So if you're playing as one cultist, I think the safe way to go is trying to sabotage as many rooms as possible, and make that round go to 10, and having the investigators not reach the victory points in time. I think that's on a game with one cultist. I think that's the best route to take. Yeah, again, if you play really well and you play strategically, you can easily killing 4 investigators in like 30 minutes. I can definitely see it happening. But yeah, that's my first impressions for now. A really promising game so far. This is going to be a game that's going to take a few more plays. Usually I like to make a review after 2-3 plays to get more of a sense. I think this is going to take more time, only because also it has the extra maps and just to get a feel of the different player counts. But yeah, that's going to do it for today, guys. So please like and subscribe to this channel. It would help this little channel grow. And if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comment section. I always answer. I always try to be answer as best as I can. But yeah, really great game so far. I'm looking forward to tabling this again. But until then, have a great one, guys.